Hello guys and welcome to this video. Today I want to talk about a little paradox that I've noticed over the last year or so, or over the last 2 years or so, I think that's more accurate. So basically, I've created this group with a guy, Blender for absolute beginners, but we had some differences and so we split up and I created a new group which is Blender Help for absolute beginners. We basically do exactly the same thing, but yeah, we just split up in two different groups. And yeah, today I want to talk about my experience with this group, because this group is about 5 years old or something like that. And yeah, at first it was like a small family basically. So when we were starting with this group, I was at first inviting friends and telling friends that it would be cool if you could invite some other people to the group, and doing some small adverts here and there in some other Blender groups. And yeah, it kept on growing and growing. And of course, at the beginning, the growth was much smaller because a small group also gets less often found by other people. So at first, it really was like a family, basically. So it was like 30, 40, 50 people who were all learning Blender and all on a journey, basically. And basically everyone knew each other. And yeah, as already said, it was like a family, but then the group kept on growing and growing. And as you might have also noticed over the last years, that Blender also became more and more important in the industry. So there was, of course, more and more people who wanted to learn Blender, who wanted to become Blender professionals. And yeah, now at the moment we're at 22,000 or 22.3k members. So we have more than 20,000 members at the moment. And that is awesome, of course, to some extent. So I'm, of course, not sad that the group has been growing so nicely. But I've noticed a problem with the group. And yeah, that's basically participation. And also, yeah, it isn't like a family anymore. And people, we don't really seem to be interested in other people here. We just want to ask some questions, get some help with their projects. And yeah, of course, that's fine. I don't have any problem with these people. But it's really not about the group anymore. It's just about finding some answers to questions, and it's not like people would identify with the group, like people identify for being a member of this group. But yeah, it's just about getting some answers fixed and so on. And yeah, I've noticed a problem over the last year or so, I think. And the big problem is we have been doing banner competitions, and these banner competitions were always pretty nice, and we used to do them for every 500 members at the start. And when we had like 5,000 or 6,000 members, we did it for every 1,000 members. So when we reached 6k members, there was a new banner competition. And when we had 7k members, there was a new banner competition. And yeah, so I basically created a lot of these banners. Yeah, it was usually like 5, 6 or 7 artworks that I put together. Yeah, I made, I think like 12 or no, 12 is not enough, like 20 of these banners. And yeah, it was always fun to have those. But there has been a problem with the last banners. I tried to make a new banner for 20k members, and now another one for 22k, or better, 22,222 members, because I thought that was an interesting number or a funny number to make a banner. But the problem is, when we had like 300, 400, 500 members, we easily got like 30, 40 or 50 submissions for the banners. So in some cases, it was really, really hard to actually pick images for the banner, because there have been so many great images, so many great 3D renders, that it was really, really hard to decide which one do I take now and which one do I not take now. So sometimes it was really hard to just create this banner, because I didn't want to exclude people, and there were so many great submissions, and I always thought that things shouldn't be unfair for the other artists. So it really took me some time to just pick out the ones that were awesome. And sometimes I even said to the artist, "Oh, I couldn't include your artwork this time, but it has been really awesome. So for the next banner competition, please save it, so that I can use your image for the next banner competition." And yeah, to cut the chase, or to cut it short, we've done a lot of these competitions, and it was always fun, and we got so many submissions. And yeah, as I said, the last one, this one is for 15k members, as you can see here on the right side. We also had like 30 or 40 submissions. But for the last ones that I tried to do at 20,000 and 22,000, the problem was just that I got like maybe 5 or 6 images, and it was really, really hard to actually make a banner, or actually I couldn't even do a banner, because submissions diminished in quality, and it was less overall, as I already said several times. So yeah, you might think the bigger the group gets, the easier it gets for the competitions, the more people will come and participate. But exactly the opposite has been the case. And yeah, that is kind of a paradox you might think at first, but I think that is also a thing that happens to a lot of other groups, that the more people come to it, the less it is personal. If you make competitions and stuff like that, or some games with people, yeah, basically everything where people have to interact with the group, it gets less and less, and it gets more and more anonymous, I would say. So that has been a problem, and it made me think of a Twitch streamer that I read about. That's a German gamer. I think the name is Amurant or Amaranth, something like that. So she basically did some streaming on Twitch, and also she got more and more people watching her. And of course you might think now, oh, that's awesome, you get more people watching you. That means also that you get more money because more people are donating, and so on and so on. But exactly the opposite has been the case. So she said that when she had around 600 or 700 members, she got much more money out of Twitch when she had 20,000. And the reason behind this was that she had some whales, if you want to call it like that. So there were some people that basically took it as a private relationship what we had there. So we felt like we're having a private relationship with a person, and there were some whales who basically spent like 500, 600 or even 1,000 euro in one donation. And the bigger the group grew, the more she had the problem that people were maybe donating like 1 euro here or 2 euros there. And of course, if you have one person who's donating 1,000 euro every month, yeah, if you lose that person because the person loses interest in your Twitch streamer account or your group, just because it isn't anonymous anymore, or it just grows too big and it doesn't feel special anymore. The problem is for every whale basically that you lose, you have to have 100 or 1,000 other people who are basically donating money to you. So that is just one thing that came into my mind when I was thinking about the whole situation here. Because people, they tend to think that the bigger groups get, the more fun they are, or the more money you get, or the more participation and whatsoever. And no, it really wasn't the case. So as I said, when this group was a small group, you had a lot of people participating, people who are interested, and also people contacting you personally. And the bigger the group grew, the less that was a thing. And yeah, the more anonymous it became. That was a little bit painful. But we also had some other problems, like when we had 10k, so when we had 10,000 members, it was like someone turned a switch, and from one day to the next day, we basically got a lot of bots who were trying to spam the chat with all kinds of things, like porn, or products that were absolutely not related to 3D creation or art in general. So we got a lot of spam bots and so on, and yeah, it was pretty terrible actually. Because this is exactly the kind of problem that you have to deal with when you have a 10k member group, but we didn't have any problems like that when we had like 300, 400, 500 members. I think the biggest problem actually was when we had like 500 members, but there were 2 or 3 people who were always bullying the others and making bad jokes about their art and stuff like that. But it was some pretty small and decent problems actually. And the bigger the group grew, the more people I had to also hire for the group as moderators to actually manage the group. The more spam we got, the less it got personal, the less people were interested in participating in banner competitions, and so on and so on. What I'm saying is not that I'm unhappy that our group is successful and we get hundreds of members every month. So of course I'm not sad that our group is successful. All I'm saying basically is you shouldn't go into it with expectations that are too high. Because the group might grow bigger, but that doesn't mean that the experience goes better. Because as I said, yeah, participation went low, and yeah, it's just really difficult to connect with people. And as I said, when the group was really small, yeah, I also met a lot of friends, new friends. I befriended people who've written me and so on. And yeah, this will all vanish once the group is bigger. And to basically summarize what I've said, only because the group is growing bigger, it doesn't mean that it will be better as well. And yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to say in this video. I hope I didn't repeat myself too often. As you probably noticed, I didn't write a script or something like that. I just did that because I felt like making this video on this evening. I was actually supposed to meet up with a friend, but then the guy didn't have time anymore because he has to do something for tomorrow. And yeah, I just thought, yeah, when I have a free evening, why not record a small video for YouTube and tell you a bit about my hassle or my problems with this group, but only to exclude that you think of it in a different way than was actually intended. Okay, I think that was everything that I wanted to say. I hope that I don't have to make some crazy edits in this video, because I said some things that I definitely want to cut out, or I started some stuttering and whatever. I still have to edit this, but yeah, this is basically my experience. And as I said, I've read about this German Twitch streamer who also had problems that a bigger group didn't mean necessarily more income or more people that you really meet. And yeah, if you want to, you can also give me a thumbs up for this video. And it would be very interesting to get your point on this, because I know that some people in my friend space here or on my friend list on Facebook are also content creators and also have their own groups. And it would be interesting to get your experience. And before you tell us about your experience with a group, it would be nice if you tell us how big your group is at the moment. And yeah, if you have some input like that or some stories to tell, you can always put that in the comments. I would be more than interested to know how you guys are experiencing the same thing. And yeah, that having been said, thanks for tuning in. And it would be really nice if I would see you in another video. So have a nice day or evening, and see you next time.